Hello, welcome to Day Off Gaming. I am your host, Tailyon, and we are back with some Star Control 2, the Ur-Quan Masters. We have just located a... can I find my... where's my scanner? Oh, I know what's wrong. We just found a rainbow world last episode, and what we're going to do is we're going to... let's make sure we have everything first. I think we did. Yes, we did. What we're going to do is we're going to navigate. Excuse me. And what we're going to do is there is a line of planets from where we're at to where we found our first one, which is one that I knew for sure was one of our one of the rainbow worlds. So I want to go there first. This episode is going to be more trying to get some more rainbow worlds. I also want to come up in this Lynchus, which, as I said, based on some of my notes where we talked to the Bucks guy, the pronunciation of some of the words that he gave sounded very similar to how this, except for that last bit. I need to find out my notes again. I apologize. But Lynchus, it was like Lynch Nas or something like that. Where's my notes here? Yeah, like Lynchus Pro. I don't know what the pro was, but so and it was like a yellow star. So maybe it has to be, if it is the creature that he wants. I'm thinking here. If not, we may have to go talk to the Melnorme. They might know more about where we need to head. So let's head out. And I might be able to show off just how powerful our capital ship is too, if we run into any enemies. And yes, we are going to end up using a lot of fuel, obviously, because we're actually going through normal space. But I'm doing this because I really want to try and find every place that we need. Isn't there, before we get too far, isn't there some unknown races that I have some notes on? Let's see. Something in Draconis. We're all the way over here. That's Hades, or Hades, whatever. Libera. Yeah, there's some races up here. It's an unknown. Let me pull up my map. Let's see. I think it had an unknown race up there. Let's see. Yeah, there's some unknown race up there, so we might want to go check that out. I'm going to stop by, I think, this star system first, and then we're going to come up here and see what race is up here. I'm really curious. I'm kind of curious if anyone has played the 3DO version or if they have played the DOS version of this game. Oh, we have another friend here. Let's slow down here. Oh, we got the Thraddash, I believe.
So, what's this? An unknown alien species. How wonderful! Someone new to fight. We, the Thraddash of Ultron 19, famous Ur-Quan combat droids, know well the value of a good fight. Either you win and prove your superiority, or you lose and are vanquished. If the vanquished is lucky, it may survive to learn an important lesson from its defeat. This is the way of the Thraddash. We fight and learn and improve. All other cultural schemes are inferior. This is a proven fact. What have you to say before we begin combat?
Thraddash of Culture 19, we sense a bit of hostility here. Why? What can you tell us of your species? Your blustering does not impress me. We have requirements which you will fulfill now. We wish nothing from you save your friendship or we live in peace. But let's find out. Why are they hostile?
Hostility? Har, har, har. We are not hostile. Hostility is unwarranted aggression. If you want to know about hostility, let us tell you about Culture 12. Culture 12 was so hostile that while they were on their way to their first great battle, Jugka, the battle master, stepped on Nusco, the tactician's foot, causing him great pain. The annoyed Nusco turned on his battle master, Jugka, and sliced his body in half. This missed Jugka's troops, who took it upon themselves to murder Nusco and his elite troops. The real trouble started when now dead Jugka's master sergeants, Mood and Putt, started arguing about how to kill Nusco. Simple crucifixion or the slower lead tattoo technique. The argument was resolved when Mood and his 500 troops were slaughtered by Putt and his gang. Well, this probably all would have gone down in history as a great day of learning for Culture 12, were it not for the surprise arrival of Culture 12's original enemy, the Yajak and his cronies, who wiped out Culture 12's army, thus beginning the long and glorious Culture 13. Now that's hostility. We, on the other hand, merely want to kill you.
Nice. Well, can you tell us anything about your species then?
Talk, blah. Talk is for sissies. Weaklings like those of Culture 14. For 10,000 years, we Thraddash have fought and died, learned and improved. Then, along came Culture 14, which claimed that all this perfect method was wrong. That each time we violently transformed to a new culture, we inevitably blasted ourselves back at least 500 years in development. Some people just cannot accept the cost of progress. Indeed, the foolishness of Culture 14's peaceful whining was revealed when they were conquered by Culture 15 after only a 10-year reign. And did the change to Culture 15 set us back 500 years? No, 2, maybe 300 years tops. The short span of Culture 14's reign is objective proof that as a way of life, peace is a failure.
So, violent rhino dudes. What more can you tell us about Culture 19? I don't know if they look like rhinos to me. They were missing the horn. They almost looked like, I don't know. Bulls? Kind of? More like a bull. But for some reason they're calling them rhinos. I don't know why, but...
What? More talk? It amazes me that you ever got out of the orbit of your home planet. Yak, yak, yak. Yammer, yammer, yammer. Very well, we will talk for a moment. Our Culture 19 is the most formidable ever to appear in Thraddash space. Admittedly, we said something similar about Culture 18, but it is true. With our rather swift defeat by the Ur-Quan and subsequent enslavement, we realized that it was time for a change. A new culture had to be established. So of course, we began a thermonuclear exchange to decide who would lead this new culture. We were all quite disappointed when the Ur-Quan in orbit above our homeworld launched waves of fighters who intercepted all our missiles. The Ur-Quan explained that slaves were not permitted to engage in such destructive conflicts. So my people, being superior, introduced a super lethal poison into our opponent's water and air, thus ending the conflict. The Ur-Quan were not particularly happy about this resolution, and killed all our leaders, which, under other circumstances, would have started a larger inter-Thraddash war. But the Ur-Quan appointed new leaders, apparently chosen at random, and explained that further disobedience would result in the destruction of our species. Frustrating, huh?
Very frustrating. You know, how dare they tell them, you know, stop killing yourself. So, you mentioned Ur-Quan. What is your relationship with them?
A foolish question. We are their slaves, dolt. What else would we be? When the Ur-Quan first appeared in our space, over 50 years ago, coming from the direction of the Ultron stars, we attacked them with gusto, zipping in to fire our Mark 6 blasters, and then theoretically zipping back out to prepare for another attack run. Unfortunately, before we could zip out, our ship were either blasted to smithereens by the Ur-Quan's fusion bolts or were picked apart by the swarms of Ur-Quan fighter vessels. You may wonder why we didn't use our afterburners to escape. The answer is simple. 50 years ago, our ships had not yet been modified for this enhancement. It was not until 2143 that maintenance engineer Rion invented the afterburner effect. When he accidentally stuck his cigar in the aft fuel valve of the ship he was working on, Waboom! The ship took off like a farm out of hell, and Rion was fried to a crisp. Yes, we remember Rion with much fondness. Of course, we have refined the device, and now that our entire fleet has been fitted with the Rion afterburners, perhaps now the Ur-Quan will let us fight at their side as true battle thralls.
Then why didn't you fight against the Alliance? And where are the Ur-Quan? We kind of know where they are, but we know it's a huge area that they're fighting in, obviously.
We wanted to. Oh, how we wanted to! After all, we were the first battle thralls the Ur-Quan enslaved in this part of space. We thought we had priority, but the Ur-Quan thought we were too weak to hold our own in the upcoming battles, so they left us here to guard the flank. If only we had been stronger and less troublesome. Another reason the Ur-Quan wouldn't take us with them was because we kept picking fights with the new battle slaves, like the Undablabis or those religious idiots, the Ilrath. Where did they go, you ask? This is a secret, of course. We can't tell you. If we told you that they were fighting a secret war against a mysterious invader, you might find some way to use that information against our masters. So forget it. No secrets.
Well, yeah, you can actually out-talk, like, outthink these people, if you notice. Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't you go impress the Ur-Quan masters and show off your afterburner modification by attacking the Ur-Quan's enemy?
What foolish stupidity! Why, that's as dumb an idea as... What did you say? Attack the Ur-Quan's enemy? Help them win their war? Why, that's an excellent idea. I'm glad I thought of it. We shall marshal our forces and leave at once. Stupid, human, pitiful, weakling dog. You have been helpful. So as a reward, you may leave alive. And when we return from our glorious campaign, we may even honor you with a retelling of the many great battles we shall certainly win. Until then, get lost!
Yeah, I forgot that you could talk to them, convince them that they could do it. So this is actually, yeah, Thraddash space. Wow, I can really talk. And I didn't realize it was this large. I thought they were actually just up in this area. I didn't realize they were down here. Well, we're going to go to Epsilon because I think that was another place where a star that we want to check out might be. But there is something that, well, maybe that is, no, that isn't that one. Okay. You can tell by if you see a yellow planet next to the star. So I think we found another one. This is great. Could have used this a long time ago, as we were trying to get data. Okay. We'll go ahead and get, yeah, we'll go ahead and get some. Woo, look at all that. We're gonna come back over here. Grab some of this. Yeah, we're starting to finally get into the main storyline part now. That's one thing about this game. It does take a while for you to get fully moving into the story. But that's okay. As I said, I'm not worried about getting minerals as much because we do have our Dreadnought pretty much all the way pushed. Okay, so let's see what next star that we're trying to go to. Okay, so we have that. Let's see here. Looks like maybe this star might have one. So let's go here. We are going to have to go straight through Ur-Quan space, so we may actually have some fights. So before we get too far and die accidentally, we'll do that. And then we'll navigate. Okay, let me show you how quickly we can kill these things real quick. I'm just going to do this. We're going to do a little battle. I just want to show you how powerful our Dreadnought is at this point. We're not even going to bother talking to him at this point. We're just going to fight him. We're going to take in our main ship, and we're going to... Ah! We got that. We would have been fine if I did not hit this stupid planet. Yeah, you can see it takes a lot of energy. We need probably another shiv driver. Probably where it's blank right there. So we'll go. But yeah, we could easily take a lot of these out. And if you notice that Thraddash are going into Ur-Quan space, we basically convinced them to go in and fight. And that was very embarrassing on my part. I should not have ever hit that planet. That took out 60 of our crew. That is an insane amount to lose. That is like very embarrassing. Trying to show off the weapon and I showed how quickly we died. Oh well, it happens. Look at all these Ur-Quans. We're right in the middle of their main battle right now. Oh, they're in. Yeah, Thraddash is fully in now. Let's see if there's a planet here. Yep, there is. Nice. All right. Oh, that is a rainbow. Couldn't tell at first. You could barely tell because there was a lot of blue with it. No life though. But this one is one of the more lesser violent ones. It's not hot. It's not like hardly any earthquakes. Of course, it doesn't have... It has decent minerals, obviously. But it does have a lot of the very basic common ones, so we'll have to avoid those, obviously. Oh, there we go. Go around. Alright, we'll come back for these last three, and then we'll get ready to head on out. Okay. We're gonna end up... Whoops. We still got fuel, so we're good there. Okay. So is there any other stars we want to check out on our way to Gloom? there is. It looks like there's possibly 2. Let's see. Nope, looks like it's just this one. Okay. So we just have this one. That's what it looks like. Okay, and which star is that? Beta Leporus? Okay. But we're not going to go there. We're actually going to come up in this area. I want to come up in the Lynch's area. Because I feel like maybe that's where we need to go at this point. As I said, I'm guessing right now. But I know one of our coordinates, one of our portals, took us up in this area somewhere. So usually each of those portals take you near a point of interest. So that's another reason why I'm suspecting something might be up here. But we will find out. One thing I am going to do real quickly, since we kind of screwed ourselves a little bit on people, we're gonna move people around here real quick. Because if we go into combat, I want to make sure at least some of our ships is protected and other things like that. Alright, we're heading up. We are hopefully gonna dodge this Ur-Quan. Yep. Barely, but we avoided it. Is there, hold on, is there a giant star, like an alpha inches, maybe? Map, I need you real quick. Is there a giant star giant up here? No, there is not. Okay. I was hoping there would be a Melnorme we could talk to up there before we got all the way up there. Let's see. The Iridian, or whatever it's called. But that's down. Yeah, see, that's all the way down here. I don't want to come down here. I think we'll be fine. We'll just do some exploration. We have something still following us, though. Something is, like, really wanting to talk to us for some reason. Ooh, water world. This should have life. Oh, wow. Apparently not. Okay. I was like, oh, water world, surely. Nope, no life. And absolutely nothing there. Okay. Let's see. We need to go around. Okay. Alright, let's see what we can find in Exploring World. Yeah, there's probably not going to be much we want here. Yeah. Navigate, please. Nope, this will be worth it. Noble minerals? Yeah. Because if I remember right, that's what we want. You know, we want anything that's blue and higher. These base ones, I'm just going to get rid of them. We don't need them. They're not worth much. So we want anything from blue up. It'd be nice if we actually got these more, but we can at least get the, whoops. We can at least get these nobles. As I said, they're not bad. If we find something better, we can always drop them. Doesn't look like there's a lot here anyway. Yeah, I don't even know if that was really worth going down. Oh well. Oh, there is life down here. Not much, but there is a life. I wonder what it has, or what it gives. Hello. Well, it gave us pretty decent. And it's iodine. We'll drop that. I'm pretty sure that's just not what we want at all. Yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling that's what it was. One thing I wanted to double check. I was looking at my notes. The other note was something about it being around a possible yellow star. I think we have a red star. I'm not sure what color we are. Red or orange. This map's sometimes not the best to figure out which star you're around. Let's see. If you notice, the Thraddash influence has really been shrinking. It kind of gives you an idea that they may not be exactly winning like they think they would. Let's see. What do we have here? We have a Delta, Gamma. Okay. I want to check out these yellow stars. If we don't find anything in this solar system, because if I remember correctly, he mentioned about a yellow star. The Bucks did. I could be remembering wrong. It's been a while since last time we talked to Admiral, whatever his name is. The Admiral Bucks guy that likes humans. A little bit too much, I would say. Let's just go right here real quick. Let's just deal with this, and then we'll deal with the next two planets. Infrared. Okay, that's not going to probably have much. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to keep an eye on our fuel, too, because we need to make sure we don't run out. Oh, that's something I want to show you guys real quickly once we leave this solar system. Remember that we have a caster that we were able to locate, or that we got from the Spothy. I want to show you the trick of what it can do. Just in case, for some reason, you ever lose, run out of fuel, but you have credits. This will save you. Looks like a lot of junk. Yeah, nothing. Okay. We have one more planet to check, and then we will head on out. Got this one right here. Okay. Anything on this planet? It's another noble world. Probably won't have a lot other than on the minerals, but we're going to grab them. As I said, they're worth it. They're not terrible. They're not amazing, but they're not terrible for sure. Everything? Nope, we have that and that. That wasn't terrible. That was better than the last planet. Okay. So we're going to navigate, and we're going to... Look how small the Thraddash circle is now. It is so tiny. Okay, we're just going to go out here real quick. So we are outside everyone's influence. So what is following us? Like, see, something's right there. The devices. If you do the caster, and you just sit here... Well, first we're going to figure out what this is. This might be a probe. Yep, it's another probe. We're just going to fight you. As I said, it doesn't take much anymore to take care of them. But they are fast. I still say our technique with the Spothy eluder probably is more efficient. See, we have something coming in, so let's go ahead and go towards it. If you didn't have fuel, obviously you would have to wait.
Welcome back, Captain. You are our favorite customer.
I hope so.
Now, what can we do for you today?
So that's something to keep in your mind. The caster, they even said if you broadcast it in hyperspace, you never know who would show up. This is who shows up usually. So we want to sell.
What would you like to sell, Captain?
We have some rainbow worlds.
Your ship's log indicates that you discovered the whereabouts of 3 of the rainbow worlds, which so fascinate us. In exchange, we will give you 1,500 credits. What would you like to sell, Captain?
And I think we have some BioLife too, so let's sell those.
The 239 units of biological data we downloaded from your ship earn you 478 credits.
We much appreciate it. We have 2,000 now. We can.
What trade items would you like to buy today?
Let's see. We've gone through the alien races.
How wonderful, Captain.
We've gone through the historical. We're now on current events. So let me make sure I have a blank piece of paper to grab whatever else we find out here.
The Ur-Quan are presently at war with a race called the Korra.
Yep.
They are fighting within a large spherical region of space, centered around the crater's star group. Although it is probably too early to tell, it would appear that the Korra are winning.
Which is not a good thing, because they are the race that wants to wipe out all life, while the other one, the green ones, want to just enslave everybody.
No doubt you are familiar with an alien race called the Ur-Quan, who live in the Orion's constellation.
No.
While they are renowned for their potent and often cruel sense of humor, they have outdone themselves in recent years. Specifically, they have used an unusual hyperwave caster to impersonate the Ur-Rat gods Dogar and Kazon. When the Ur-Rat began tuning in to the voices of their gods on their hyperwave receivers, the priest caste was understandably skeptical and counseled their many followers to ignore the blasphemous signals. However, in a surprise move, the majority of the Ur-Rat then rose up and slaughtered the entire priest caste. The reasons for this ghastly move included overtaxation, lack of quality depth in ceremony, and the general feeling that the priests had made Dogar and Kazon's pronouncements overly complex.
Okay, so they use that caster that we used to call these Melnorme just now to impersonate their gods. There might be something with that, especially since they brought that up in these current events.
As you know, there are weaknesses in the division between dimensions. For example, your vessel uses such weaknesses to enter hyperspace. However, there are other weak spots in the galaxy which lead to yet different dimensions. One such portal exists nearby, between the Chandrasekhar and Colum Bay constellations.
Yep, we found that.
The portal opens only a short time each month, starting on the 17th. Since we have never entered the portal, we can give no more information on this subject.
Yep, we already found that out from the Spothy, and found out what was hidden in there. The Arielu, and that's where we got our portal spawner. Very, very useful to have. Okay, so we still need to buy about current events.
As you are probably aware, Ur-Quan starships, you call them dreadnoughts I believe, possess effective self-annihilation circuits, which prevent other races from reverse engineering Ur-Quan technological secrets. However, we have become aware of a shipwrecked dreadnought which has remained largely intact. You will find the remains of the ship on the surface of a blue world orbiting Alpha Pavonis. We suspect you will find at least one item of interest there, possibly two.
Yep, we found that out. Our Lou gave us that information. That is one thing I do have to say that can get a little annoying, is sometimes they give you the same information in multiple ways, but I think it also gives you the chance to discover it without feeling like you're being railroaded, that you would have to go through a certain path to get information. So they leave it open for you to get information different ways, which I think is kind of cool.
You may have noticed the presence of an increasingly large number of red probe vessels.
Yep.
Which move with great speed and attack relentlessly. We are sorry to say that this is our catalog item 2418B. Do not blame us. We are not responsible for this violent folly. The product is not being used in a correct manner. Should you wish to confront the actual wrongdoers, we suggest you search the planets in Beta Corby for the probe's owners.
Yep, we already took care of them.
Not more than 50 years ago, the Druge were informed by the now extinct Pervixies race of a powerful alien nation called the Utwig.
Okay.
The Utwig, the Pervixies explained, were pleasant, sophisticated creatures, but they were also terminally depressed and often spoke about ending their lives by activating a super weapon, some kind of gigantic bomb, which they had found on one of their worlds. Zeta Hyades 6B, I think it was. The Druge recognized the description of the bomb as a precursor planetarian tool, which indeed was an explosive device of unrivaled power, and they set out to make it their own. Though the revolting, criminal, insidious Druge rarely leave their sphere of influence, it encompasses Algol, Almagest, and the Persei stars. They made a special trip on this occasion to the Aquarii constellation, where they made contact with the Utwig.
The quarry, okay.
There is a device commonly known as the Ultron. Is it now in your possession? Ah, I see. The Druge sold this device to the Utwig, explaining that it was a precursor personal magnifier, which would enrich the lives of their entire culture in too many ways to describe specifically. The Utwig, I am sorry to say, fell for the Druge's foul ruse and snapped up the Ultron immediately. Fortunately for us all, the Utwig did not pay the Druge's requested price, the super bomb, and instead gave them a collection of historical oddments and genuine artifacts, which to this day the Druge are trying to unload on unwary buyers.
Yeah, the Druge, we will introduce you to them eventually. We just aren't ready to go in that side of space, I don't think. So we're still going on current events.
The Utwig, who live in the Aquarii constellation, have grown very depressed of late. They accidentally broke the supposed Ultron sold to them by the felonious Druge. As a consequence, they are morose and melancholic, and will probably be unwilling to help you fight the Ur-Quan. If you wish to gain them as allies, we recommend that you acquire the broken Ultron, as if it ever worked, and find some suitable replacement parts. Our information indicates that you could find these items in 3 different places. A rosy sphere at the Druge Trade World, an aqua helix somewhere in Thraddash space, and a clear spindle, which is currently in the possession of the Precog.
Okay.
Captain, that was the last current event we have for sale. We regret to say that you have exhausted our supply of genuinely valuable information. However, we do have many thousands of useless facts, and that we will gladly sell you at a substantial discount. Are you interested? We thought not.
Yep, so we are done pretty much with them completely. So yeah, we're gonna have to, from this point forward, figure things out on our own. We have got a lot of information. I may actually have to go back through this after this recording and figure out what we need left. But we have 1,400, so since we're done, we are going to...
fuel do you wish to purchase?
It's 1 per 1, so we're just gonna tell them, hey, fill all our 10
Fuel
tanks.
transferred to your vessel.
And we're done.
It has been a pleasure dealing with you, Captain. We look forward to your next visit.
I was hoping he would tell us where to find that monster creature that the Admiral wanted. But look how tiny the Thraddash is. They were covering all of this area, and now they're like super tiny. But let's go ahead to Gamma. As I said, we'll just go through all these and see if we can find it. I want to save. It's been a while since we've saved. And then we're going to navigate, see what we can get. How many planets are here? 3. Oh, we got another probe. That's fine. We'll kill it with self-destruct. We're not even going to bother trying to attack it since we have the self-destruct code. So there's nothing here. We'll go up here. Yeah, that's a lot of corrosives, not radioactive. So we're not even bothering. Come on up. We will converse.
We come in peace.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. Just seeing if there's anything. Okay.
Engaging self-destruction circuitry.
Well, that was nice. Free 550 RU. We'll take it. Seminarian world. Interesting. Nothing here though. But the great part is we're pretty much done needing to get credits now. So we don't really need to see the Melnorme unless we really need fuel. That's pretty much the only reason I would ever go talk to him again. So that's good to know. We do have a little mission to do though. We need to go find these Utwig, talk to them, get the Ultron, and then start figuring out how to repair their ship. Or not their ship, their Ultron that they call. Alright, nothing was there, so we're going to go to Delta. Let's go check them out. Yeah, the Thraddash aren't going to probably be too happy with us, with what we told them to do. Okay, this barely has any planets. This will be a quick one to get through. No biologics here? Okay. Alright, what's that blue planet? That might be a water planet. Or maybe a noble world. Always possible. No, it's a water world. And not that great. It does have life though, so let's see if we can find what we need here. As I said, I'm not against getting life just because it is extra credits, and if we can use the Melnorme to get fuel instead of wasting 3 RUs per load, that would be great. So let's go on down. Well, that was silly. Okay, there's something fast. Whoa, what the heck? Whoa, 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 what is that? That is ugly. Stay back. Report for surface. We have finally trapped the hideous beast which has been so hard to capture these past few days. I swear, we emptied our stun batteries into that thing over a dozen times before it even slowed down. A few more shots to its barbed head, and it went down. But we had only a few seconds to get it into the magnetic restraints before it started thrashing around again. Even as I make this report, that damn monster is shrieking like a steam engine and trying to tear its way free. I hope we know what we are doing, bringing that thing aboard. If it gets free inside the ship, Captain, well, just don't want to think about it. Returning to ship. Okay. So is this the creature that we're trying to find? I'm assuming. It's unique. And he wanted something unique. I guess what we can do is probably find out here in a minute. When we go back to once we get back to the maybe the Star Commander, he can maybe tell us a little bit more about it. Okay, that's everybody. That's everybody. Alright. But that's very possibly it, just because it was around the yellow star, which is one thing we had to do. Let's see. Do I want to... Okay. How far is this area? It's over in the Aquarius? Or what is the place called? The Utwig... The Aquari area? That's Libera. Hades. Or am I thinking the Umga? Do I have my... Okay, I do. Let me pull up my map. This is just taking too long. Sometimes moving with the cursor just takes forever. Alright, what do we got? Oh, okay. I see where it's at. Alrighty. How far is it from here? 30. Yeah, we'll just use our spawner and go there. I think it'll be a lot quicker. I will warn you, the Utwig, they are depressing. Their voice actor, I don't know how he did it. He did a great job, but they are probably the most depressing creatures that you will ever hear. So we need to go to 530, 528. Okay. That should take us to the Utwig area. At least I hope. That's what I have my notes as for that place in the map field. Yeah, okay, we're pretty close. Okay. Let's see if we can find out where they live. I do know their ships are decent, but they are slow and bulky. Oh, here's their ship, so let's go talk to them. Because we need to figure out where their home planet is.
I suppose as a courtesy I should extend an appropriate greeting. On behalf of the Utwig Proctors, I truly hope for your sake that your day has been better than ours, although this really isn't saying that much.
Yeah. Let's see. This is Captain Tailyon, representing the Concordance of alien nations, please respond.
What good would that do? I mean, why should we? We agonized for hours, wondering if it was a cruel twist of fate or simply a serious case of butterfingery. The lifetimes that have been spent in the pursuit of the elusive answer to this deceptively simple question has driven many of us down the dark road of self-destruction. Indeed, even as these words strike the ears of any who care to listen, the real question is, does it matter? I cannot say. I wallow in a quandary, unable to determine what better atones for my part of the great sin. Should I engage in slow and painful self-termination? Should I commit myself to a long life of painful self-flagellation? Should I throw myself with enthusiastic verve at the problem of collective annihilation? I do not know. Even now, my mind writhes in anguish of indecision, lest the outcome be inadequate.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where your home planet is. Can you help me? But we have some history lesson, unfortunately, to go through before we can get to what we need, I think. Let's see if they know anything about enslaving the Ur-Quan first before we deal with more back history.
We know nothing of this species that you mentioned. However, while we are on the subject of evil and powerful species, we have encountered a particularly gruesome race that seemed to come from the direction of Arcturus. When we hailed them, they responded with mighty weapons that sent our delegation to their depths. Lucky fools. The aliens' dark, crusty battleships are capable of guiding spinning mines into almost any location. And should an enemy get too close, a fiery corona emerges to inflict fearsome damage. In our skirmishes with the race who called themselves the Ur-Quan, we found that by using our own shielding capability, we could sweep through the mines, absorb the corona, and then get close enough to the dark ships to give a lick of our own. In truth, however, they are very powerful and ruthless. When the Ur-Quan started to press toward our home world, we thought that our deserved punishment was being administered. But then, a mystery? They suddenly became disinterested and veered away. Bah, confounding frustration. With the Ultron, I could speak knowledgeably on this subject. To have this quality torn from our grasp emphasizes how meaningless our existence really is. This lack of meaning is what drives my species to the serious contemplation of a quick end.
So they ran into the Ur-Quan, but they didn't run into the Kazertsa, I think it is. So, yes, that's really a pity. So what more do you know? Let's go back. Okay, let's just get this first line of questioning done. I detect that recent events have not gone your way. Why don't you start from the beginning? Yes, we're gonna regret this.
Alright, I'll try. But you know, it really doesn't matter. After all, we have a famous Utwig saying, when one loses the reason for existence, one tends to get less motivated. This goes hand in hand with the painfully appropriate credo, we broke it so we are paying for it. Of course, this isn't really accurate. The situation is so much more hideous. Imagine, if you can, holding within your hands the answer, only to have it taunt you with its former potential. Ah, cruel irony. The loss of the Ultron grieves us all.
How's that now? What was it again?
Bob, it doesn't matter. Besides being of no concern to you, I find discussion of this matter, well, distasteful. The Ultron was not the only thing which assures total and complete meaning of life for you and I. It is universal. I'm sure that you two are aware of this thing, if only in legend. It granted us all limitless power and knowledge. It has been since, well, rendered inoperative.
Yeah, we're pretty much almost done with, because we don't want to, just because you can make them hostile if you're not careful. So we're just gonna...
Your query once again painfully reminds me of the Ultron and what it was for the universe. I could tell you all and correct all that is wrong in the universe. All I can tell you is that the Korra live to kill. Their stated purpose is to seek out new life and new civilizations and then annihilate them.
Yep.
We seem to qualify as such, and that is why it is puzzling that after pursuing us with some tenacity, they suddenly turned away and headed toward Craterus. All this speculation would be unnecessary if only we had saved the Ultron. It would not have taken much. A diving catch, a thrown pillow, even a fuzzy wumpus would have broken the fall satisfactorily. Indeed, a panel convened to analyze the possibilities concluded there were at least 623 ways that the Ultron could have been saved if we had been prepared. Let us cease our discussion concerning these matters.
Okay, a truly unique set of events puts you in your current state, am I right? Yeah, I'm trying not to tick him off too much, but I'm also trying not to be, not trying to patronize him either.
To say the least. Our past is one of a glorious and proud people, coupled with a cataclysm that rocks the universe to its very core. It all began when the chimps rose from the murky bog, and the Utwig emerged as well. In these primitive times, we cavorted about our world, oblivious to any sort of higher purpose. We took everything at face value. Meanwhile, the tendrils of the chimp infiltrated the vast sky canopies of Faz, and then the veils fell. Suddenly, the Utwig were stunned by a collective realization. All immediately and urgently donned veils of every description. Hides, leaves, shells, rocks, even living growls were donned in the early days. You see, the face is the mechanism that expresses many of the primitive qualities that hinder sentience. Now rid of constant reminders of greed, rage, hatred, and lust, the wisdom of the Utwig was no longer hampered by constant reminders of the primitive urge. Over many generations, mask etiquette was refined to a rock-solid foundation of our society. Sure, the morality riots were expensive, both in lives and infrastructure, but the result was better mask regulation. Specification from your basic mask of grueling but necessary activity to the most highly decorated countenance of stellar representation. These were clearly defined, recognizing the importance of flexibility. Clear-cut and efficient procedures for revision and redesign dealt with the few anomalies. From that moment, when we covered the source of our intellectual oppression, we knew that it was a grand purpose that defined our destiny, Are you still listening? Our entire development as a sentient species was coordinated to coincide with the appearance of a remarkable device, the Ultron. We were oblivious to its tragic implications.
I love how he's actually like, are you still listening? Like, most people would probably have just skipped over. You know. But yeah, there is a lot of background. That's one thing with this game. There is so much dialogue. It's crazy. I know it's not for most people, but I still enjoy these types of games, even though sometimes you're just like, can you get to the point? Especially the Utwig. They drag on, as you can tell, with their annoying voice. But as I said, the voice actor did a great job with making them sound annoying.
In order for you to truly understand the situation, you need to know more about the Ultron and its unique capabilities. You see, when the Druge discovered the Ultron, they knew that it was ours. The Druge were compelled by intrinsic universal direction to take it to where it has always belonged. They brought it to us. Oh, the Ultron! It assured total and complete meaning of life for all, the universal. With the Ultron in hand, I could sense not only your motivations and desires, but your purpose. I could act upon these things in ways that would most likely seem mysterious, if not, well, daft. Years later, you would herald our participation in your development as the turning point for your species. The Druge were only one of the few to benefit in this way. Even now, they are puzzled by the way we rewarded them for the delivery of the Ultron to its correct place. In 24 years, 2 months, and 3 days, they will all dance the dance of jubilation. Indeed, the Ultron has allowed us to fundamentally change the Druge forever. The Supox, too, received many benefits from our use of the Ultron. They can testify to its power.
The Supox. Okay.
Yes, things were perfect. What happened is, well, it's difficult to talk about. But I saw it happen. I witnessed the Chin's-Ra celebration. I felt the Ultron fill the empty place that I did not know was there. I saw the Grand Proctor pass it to, well, they say that the Chief Crew did not know that it was so heavy and slippery. Perhaps it was a combination of factors. Some who have reviewed the records claim it was actually a conspiracy. The Commission investigation officially stated that the Ultron was rendered inoperative by the fall to the ground. Yet many feel that the whole story has not yet been told. As it struck the ground, I saw its glow fade. And then the painful void incapacitated all. All Utwig immediately donned the mask of ultimate embarrassment and shame, with a vow to wear it forever. Bonfires all over Foz consumed all but this mask. No other mask was spared. The visage of ceremonial orations, in all of its contexts and revisions, as I'm sure you understand. All of the courting masks, from the clever and intriguing veil of flirtatious prancing to the infamous lewd monocle, all consumed by the hungry flames. Even the most fundamental fixtures were committed to this irreversible fate. The mask of natural bodily excretions once hung in every lavatory. Most of the public facilities have removed the disposable mask dispensers, but every once in a while I still see such a repository, always empty. At that time, many suggested that we use the precursor relic as a form of self-punishment. The proposal was that we collectively go to the second moon of the sixth planet of Zeta Hyades at coordinates 850.3 by 937.2 and use the ancient planeteering device to end our existence. After much discussion, we decided that we deserved to suffer. We can use the bomb if we ever decide the time is right. In the meantime, we atone for our grievous mistake with our collective misery. I suddenly sink into a chasm of depression. I must go.
Alright, we're gonna leave them here.
As do we. Go now with neither malice nor joy.
We need to figure out where this Ultron is. I don't know which planet we need to go to, unfortunately, for their home world. Dude, this has some greens. We could probably use some of those. We're gonna pretty much look around this planet. Maybe we'll talk to another Utwig and see if we can get them to tell us where the Ultron is, because that's what we need. If we're gonna fix it, which is what the Melnorme were kind of hinting at by giving us some talks about that, we need to know where to go. So let's see if we can get them to tell us. We're gonna save, just in case I accidentally tick him off by asking. But yeah, navigate. Let's just see if we can get them to tell us.
Just go away. Leave us to ponder our grief.
Yeah, but I want the Ultron.
You are kind. If we could wield the Ultron to resurrect your splib, we would. But I suddenly am overcome with waves of depression. I must retire now to perform rituals of anguish. Waves of trauma wash across my being even now. I must go.
Okay, so we can't get any information from you. Great. Okay, let's just start going solar system by solar system if we have to. I really don't want to, but maybe they'll be on the closest planet in the system or close. I don't even know if I'm in the right system. Oh, is this a rainbow world? Oh! I did not even realize that. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and call the episode, I think, at this point. It's a good spot. And hopefully we can, in the next episode, figure out where we need to go to get this Ultron. And maybe we can figure out who the Supocs are, too, that they've mentioned. I'm assuming it's another race, maybe that lives nearby. I don't know. We'll have to just kind of wander around and see what we can find. So, I will see you all in the next one.